Good morning. Today we're going to be going to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. It's a park that we've been to many times this year. In fact, about 12 or 13 times, because we've got platinum annual passes. But we never actually vlogged it. So for today we're going to be attempting a full Blackpool Pleasure Beach vlog. So we'll show off-ride footage of our favourite coasters and some flat rides. Of course you can't film on-ride, that's park rules and we're going to respect that. I'll give you a bit of information about some of the rides, a few memories of when I used to go as a kid and how it's changed, and I'll also talk about the future of the park, or what we think should come to the park. Pure speculation, of course. As always, we're going to have honest opinions. If you don't like them, well, you don't have to listen to us, or you can just debate me in the comments section underneath the video. So we're just about to set off. Next recording will be in the car park. I'll talk about where to park at Blackpool. I'll also mention about ticketing, the controversy, or not really controversy, the debate over whether we should be free to enter the park or have the wristband system that we've got. I'll make a few comments on that. I'll try to talk about food and a few other things if I remember to do it all. See you later. So we're nearly there on the promenade now. The structure of the big one comes into view. The illuminations, of course, aren't on until next weekend. I think Friday is when they switch on, which is unusual. It's a bank holiday today, or this weekend. So we're going to try and park in Watson Road car park. There's a velvet coaster on the left, where most enthusiasts seem to want to go for the lunch. South Pier on the right hand side. Maybe you can pick that up. We've got a log flume and a wild mouse and some bungee jumps. I think there's some dodgems and things. You have to buy a wristband. I think it's about £20. South Pier wristband. So on the left is the first major car park at Pleasure Beach, but we're not going to park there because they're charging, I call that the Osborne Road car park, charging £18 for the day, which is very steep. So we're going to try the Watson Road. This car park's £11 for the day, which is still a bit on the expensive side, but I don't mind paying it because you've got an attendant in the car park and it's right underneath the big one, and it's easy to get back and change your shoes. For example, for when you want to go on Valhalla, you want to change to waterproof footwear and trousers, pop back to the car and get your jumper or something like that if it turns cold. So let's see if we can get in here.
Prepare to turn right.
Yeah, I think they'll get in here. So it's 10 o'clock, park's just opened, and it's going to be a long day. It's one of those late night riding with fireworks. So the park's open 10 till 10. Quite a good crowd here today, which is a good sign. The ticketing place is super efficient. We were in and out within 3 minutes, and that includes booking for the Hot Ice show, which of course is free to Platinum Pass holders. We'll just get through security and then we'll go to our first ride. So we've just come in through the entrance. Again, that's super efficient, where they check your bags at security, only causes a very slight delay. And we're going to start in this area of the park where we've got Ice Blast and Valhalla, and over here we've got the flying machines, Kiss Me Quick Shop. So I think we'll start off on Ice Blast. Why are we starting on this? Because this tends to build up big queues and it's a slow queue muncher. So we're going to do the rides in a particular order as suggested by Scott at Pleasure Beach Experience. So this particular area of the park where we've got Valhalla, the funhouse used to stand there many years ago. And when I first started coming to the park, I think 7 years old, the earliest memory I've got, I went in the original funhouse. Then sadly it burnt down obviously before Valhalla was built. And this facade, this rock facade on Valhalla, this is not the original facade. That was replaced when the original rotted due to the water. So if you remember the skeleton's face, the Viking skeleton, it had a painted helmet, white and brown painted helmet in the original version. Now it's all rock coloured. The station itself hasn't changed. I preferred the old facade, but each to their own. And then over here you've got Loki's bar. Never been in when the upstairs to that's open. And where we've got Tango Ice Blast, or just Ice Blast as it's now known, there used to stand a ride called Monster, which I guess is the old fairground octopus style ride. So we are going back a long time now, to the 80s I think. So let's take a walk up to Avalanche, see if that's open. We have a massive queue for infusion. I've never seen the queue this big, but then again I've never been at this time before the ride opens. So as we walk down here we'll see the Coasters bar. This is a really nice addition to the park, and then built to match the Icon station building. Lovely gold strips on there. That's a little bit controversial. Some people didn't like the station building when it was first put up, but I think it's really nice. So Coasters Bar is a great eating place. I'll say more about that later. Icon testing. Like I said, it doesn't open till 11 o'clock. Well, here's where you usually get accosted by the official photographers. We'll film the photographer today. Well, Avalanche is definitely open, but it doesn't look to be moving at the moment. And here we have the famous Avalanche Bears. Still singing along, playing along. Right, we better join this queue for Avalanche now. So we've just stopped for lunch. I'm sure you're going to hear me above the general background noise here, because we haven't got the external microphone today. We've had noodles from Black Fusion. It's one of my favourite places in Pleasure Beach for eating. The place is so busy we couldn't find a table up there, so we've had to come down to the FY4 area. So I've had chicken and black bean. Jemima's had plain noodles because, as I mentioned on a previous vlog, she's a vegan. There's very few options for vegans here. They're not egg noodles, so she can have them apparently. And the whole meal, lots of noodles and 2 medium drinks, came to £11.50 something, because you get 20% staff discount. Not staff discount, but season ticket discount with your platinum pass. That building just behind me, the plain boring looking building, is the back of Alice in Wonderland, the big warehouse that houses Alice in Wonderland. It used to be where the Trauma Towers facade was before they tore it down early in January. Just round there where it says Picento, or Picento, is where the Wild Mouse used to stand before they tore that down as well in January. Probably have to stop talking now because the background music's getting really loud. Filming River Caves in a moment. This is a really old ride, over 100 years old. And the Tunnel of Love sign there wasn't there originally, it was added when they filmed an episode of Coronation Street apparently. They just kept it up. We'll just watch this splash down. You don't actually get wet at all on this ride. Front view of the big dipper station. So the Grand National really splits opinions amongst enthusiasts. Some rate it very highly, but a lot of people, increasing number of people, say it's just too rough and refuse to go on it. We still like to go on it, although we'll completely avoid the back row, which is very, very rough. It's one of only, I think, 3 examples of Mobius strip roller coasters in existence. One roller coasters where you start on one side of the station, you come back on the other side. The 2 tracks pass through each other. So in actual fact, according to the roller coaster database, you get 2 coaster credits for this if you ride the left side or the right side. I never count it as 2 credits. Seems to be a bit of a delay here. Across Pleasure Beach experience.
That was an unexpected camera appearance.
So tell us, Scott, why do you like Blackpool Pleasure Beach so much?
Oh, I haven't got long enough for that today. I'll do it in another video, but to cut it short, great park, childhood memories, great rides, best rides in the country.
Superb. Have you seen Off Ice yet?
No.
It's a brilliant show. We've just seen the matinee performance. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So you got Mitch with you today?
I have, yeah.
Aye.
Yeah, we've only just got here, so just do icon really, more than anything. We've got a speedy pass, so don't want to have to queue for everything today. So that's the main thing.
backwards as well. This is a great coaster. It's one of our favourites at Pleasure Beach. Classic old Arrow development coaster. It's very forceful. Well, there's not much to it, just a simple shuttle coaster that goes through a full 360. To get an idea how busy it is today, this is the queue for Avalanche. It stretches all the way down to the Eddie Stobart station. And it's on a 2-train service as well. Obligatory go on Valhalla. It's stuck in the queue for over an hour because it kept breaking down, unfortunately. But eventually we got on it and we got a good soaking. So even with the ponchos on, you still get a good soaking. Managed to keep the bag dry though. Just look at my trousers are soaking. Shoes are wet through. But who cares, we've had a good ride. So now it's time for a drink in coasters. So we've just come for a drink in Coasters Bar, a little bit of a breather. It's what, 7:45 now? We've been on quite a lot of things today, but there's still several coasters remaining to be ridden, and that's because it's been really, really busy today. The busiest we've ever seen at Pleasure Beach so far this year. Having said that, we've had a fantastic time because we've been to see Hot Ice, which we haven't seen before. And if you haven't seen Hot Ice, and even if you don't like ice skating, I wouldn't say I loved ice skating, but today I really enjoyed it. The choreography, the costumes, and ice manoeuvres, they just blow you away. And the best part is the icon sequence at the end. That's just fantastic. We've been on Icon twice, both in the front row, which is the only place to ride it in my opinion. We've tried it back, middle, front. Front is definitely best. You get the airtime. You get the amazing views. The mist's back on now, so it makes it an even better ride. Without the mist, I think it takes a little bit away from it because you can see the track as you emerge under the tunnel towards the top out. One thing we did chance upon this morning is we saw that do the track transfer. That's for real hardcore geeks. It's great to watch how they put the third train on the track. And we also saw a rollback. Now I'm not sure whether that was a purposeful rollback. When they put the third train on, it rolled back 3 times from the top up before it made it over, or whether it just not made the adjustments right. It's worth seeing anyway, interesting. So we've not done the big one yet. We've not done, what else have we done? Steeplechase and Skyforce and Wallace and Gromit and Alice in Wonderland. Those are the rides that we still need to tick off before we finish. Oh, flying machines. We nearly always do flying machines, but we're fast running out of time because some of the rides close at 9 o'clock because they're in the fireworks trajectory. And the Big Dipper, we haven't done the Big Dipper. We'll do that immediately after this trip. What else shall I say? I was going to talk about ticket prices, wasn't I? I'll just mention that briefly because I'll postpone that to a later video, but there's a little bit of controversy over the pricing structure because when I started coming as a child, it was free to enter the park and you bought your books of tickets. So there were the so-called white knuckle ride tickets, family ride tickets, and that sort of options that you could get. They then changed it to well, it wasn't £6 when it was introduced, but in today's money it's £6 to just enter the park. Now you do get a free ride on the PBE, the train, and a free entry into the maze, thrown in with your £6 entry. But then if you want to go on any of the rides, you've got to buy tokens. And
at £1 a token, and you need £15 worth of tokens for one ride on Icon. Or it's £45 as a standard walk-up entry wristband price. Or better still, if you can book in advance, a week in advance is best, you get it for £25, which is a fantastic deal. And then the price escalates a little bit until the day before, where you can still get it, I think, at £28, which to me is still a bargain. The problem with this pricing strategy is that it punishes the walk-up customer. So if you've got a great summer, we've had a fantastic heat wave, you're just in Blackpool, you're walking along the front, you see Pleasure Beach, you think, oh, I'd really like to go in there, but you're going to be put off by the £45 entry fee. So I'd like it to go back to the system where you've got different types of wristbands for different categories of rides and have free entry. It's one of the reasons why I went on a hiatus for 13, 14 years. When I had the kids, it would have cost me £6 per person, or 4 of us, just to enter the park. And there's only me at that time interested in roller coasters, so it made it very expensive to do so. For 13, 14 years I didn't come to Pleasure Beach. The only time I tell a lie, I went once with my wife when it was one of those wow weekends in freezing cold February. That was back in the days when we still had the Space Invader and the Wild Mouse and everything like that. It was a good day, but we only got on about 6 rides because all the enthusiasts were there, the queues were enormous, and most rides were on one train. So yeah, I think some sort of different pricing strategy would help. I also said we'd talk about what would happen in the future for Blackpool Pleasure Beach. I want to keep this short. I realise I'm going on a little bit, but there's a lot of debate over what will be the next purchase and next ride for Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Some people are talking about a new wooden coaster. Very controversial. Some people want to see an RMC job done to the Grand National. I'm not one of those. I think keep the ride as it is, possibly put new trains on. If you're going to touch the ride, you might as well knock it down and rebuild it. But I'd like to see it rebuilt to the original blueprints with a company like Great Coasters International, who build brilliant, smooth rides. I love the concept of the ride. I love the profiling. I wouldn't want to see that change, but it is getting a bit rough. Personally, I think the 4 wooden coasters, they've got enough woodies. They haven't got room for a large wooden coaster, so it would just be something small like Wickerman. However good Wickerman is, it's still a little bit short for my liking. I'd much prefer Blackpool Pleasure Beach invest in another steel coaster, and I think the one thing we do lack is a spinning coaster or something like the Wild Mouse that we've lost. Now, we're not going to get a wooden Wild Mouse, but we might get a spinning Wild Mouse type ride like the Mac Big Dipper concept, or perhaps something like Max Cobra's Curse. I wasn't totally overwhelmed by Cobra's Curse, but I'm sure a better layout could give us a good spinning coaster. Or even taking that step further, a spinning coaster as a dark ride. The more dark rides or more indoor attractions Blackpool Pleasure Beach gets, the better it is, because then they don't have to refund people if it's raining, because they can always turn around and say, we've got enough rides that are affected by the rain. But personally, I'd like to see a small footprint, steel Wild Mouse, spinning Wild Mouse style ride, either indoors or outdoors. That's my speculation. Now, whether the owners will do that is another matter. There's talk about 2 Mac wheels, so we've already had Icon, so maybe there's another Mac coaster in the bag somewhere. But the park keep play the cards very close to the chest. We don't really know beyond Icon what's coming next. Anything else we'd like to say?
We haven't been on Avalanche.
The what?
We haven't been on Avalanche.
Oh yes, we haven't been on Avalanche. Talking of back coasters, I like Avalanche. It's a good, interesting Mac coaster, but it just seems bad luck. Every time we come to this park, it's down for a long time. Today it's been down, and when it did get back up, the queue was horrendous, so maybe we'll miss out on that ride today. Because I bet when we get around there, the queues are outside the building again. It really depends on whether it's on 1 or 2 trains as to whether it's worth getting in that queue if it's outside the station building. Alright, I said I'd keep this short, so I should have been rabbiting on, and I'm going to finish my drink, so cheers. We've not managed to get on the steeplechase yet. We're queuing outside the station building. Never seen it as busy as this in all the 13, 14 times we've come this year so far. Great for the park. It says it was opened by Red Rum. You know what Red Rum was? Famous thoroughbred racehorse. Went in the Grand National 5 times, won it 3 times, came second 2 times, 5 consecutive years. There'll never be another horse like him.
See if you can find the cat. I'll wait till you've done this.
Just waiting for the infusion train to go up the lift hill. There it comes. This is a Vekoma SLC, or suspended looping coaster, if you've not heard of that term before. I'm not a big fan of Vekomas or SLCs in particular, but this has really grown on me over the times I've ridden it. First time I rode it was March this year, I think it was. But we've just come off it on the front seat and it is a fantastic ride on the front seat. I wouldn't ride it anywhere else now. It's nowhere near as rough on the front. Very forceful, and it's much better than Kumali, which is more highly rated among enthusiasts. In fact, in a recent ranking of Blackpool coasters, I'd put this at number 4, if it's ridden in the front seat. Right, so this was a late night riding and fireworks. We were there 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 p.m. We didn't get out of the park till 10:30. It was an absolutely fantastic day. If you've never been to a late night riding with fireworks, I strongly advise you go to one. It's a great atmosphere. The park was tremendously busy, which is fantastic for the park. It does increase the atmosphere, but the downside is it obviously increases the queuing for rides. Now, all being said, we didn't purchase any speedy passes, no queue cutting or anything. We just queued the normal way. We followed some of the recommendations and tips from Pleasure Beach Experience. If you've seen that vlog, or if you haven't seen it, I advise you to watch it, because that is a very good set of tips from Scott there. So we followed that as best we could. It did fall apart in places because 1 or 2 rides had downtime during when we were walking past. So we started off with Ice Blast, the usual thing. We walked past Avalanche, that was down, so we had to skip that out. Did the Nickelodeon Streak,
came back for the, no, then we did the Avatar Airbender, then the Revolution, and then it fell apart again because Steeplechase had built an enormous queue and Skyforce was down, so we couldn't get on that, so we decided to do Icon instead, which normally I'd say avoid first thing on the morning because it takes time to warm itself up. But even on a morning, even when it's supposedly a little bit slower, it's still a fantastic ride, and it seems silly to walk past it, not get on it. Alright, when you're watching this back, you might see a little blip as we abruptly changed from one bit to another. That's because the camera stopped for some reason recording during this filming. No idea why. Anyway, where was I? So let me review the highlights of the day. There were two standout highlights for me. One is the hot ice show. That's the first time we've ever seen the hot ice show. I'm not a great fan of ice skating shows, that kind of thing, but this was absolutely brilliant. Blew me away, especially the final segment on the Icon. Now this weekend is the last weekend, assuming we get this vlog uploaded onto YouTube, because you might be watching this after the weekend, of course. This is the last weekend of Hot Ice for 2018, so if you're watching this and you haven't been, get yourself a ticket. It is free, the matinee is free for season annual pass holders, platinum annual pass holders, and that's how we did it on Saturday, but you can also pay for a better seat or one of the other performances. So definitely go see that, it's brilliant. The other standout highlight for me was the big one. Why the big one? Because it's the first time we'd ever done the big one in the dark. That was brilliant. We had a choice. It was getting close to 9 o'clock. Which queue do we get in, Icon or the big one? We opted for the big one. And then unfortunately when we were in the queue it broke down for a long time. So we were in that queue a very long time, at least an hour, but it was worth it. The ride in the dark is brilliant. It'll be even better this weekend when the illuminations are switched on as well. When you're going down that first drop and you can see all the illuminations down the promenade. So brilliant. If you don't like big queues, my advice is avoid the late night riding with fireworks and go on the Sunday. When those are on the Saturday, go on the Sunday, especially when the park's open until 7 PM, because that's only a 2-hour difference in effect from the Saturday late nights. Now I know I said it shuts at 10, but most of the rides actually close at 9 when the fireworks are on. There's very few rides left open in that 9 till 10 slot, so it's effectively closing at 9 for most of the stuff. You may as well go on the Sunday. It's only open 2 hours less, the crowds are much less, and if you're a platinum pass holder, you've got the freedom to go when you want, and you can pick a Sunday when the weather looks a bit iffy, because that knocks down the crowds even more, so you can have a much better experience if you're not into queuing, but the atmosphere makes up for it, I think, plus the fireworks. So that's all I wanted to say, I think. Thank you to Scott Bickerton of Club Pleasure Beach Experience. Sorry I doorstepped you there in the queue for Icon by putting you on the spot and asking you to explain why you liked Blackpool Pleasure Beach, but I'm really pleased that you fronted up and said something there. So thank you, Scott, for that. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say on our experience here on the late night riding with fireworks. It's been a great day, so until the next vlog, see you later.